Hey everybody, this is story time, okay? Story time, story time, story time. I'm gonna be telling the story of how I ended up here on YouTube. this is not this is not my thing here. I'm just gonna start off like that. I'm gonna just tell the story here, and I'm actually gonna tag the person who got us all started here. Um, she's an amazing YouTuber. I love her to death. Um, I just love her. She's like, yeah, she's our idol. but God. So let me just start here. So basically, I always was watching YouTube, here and there, and I remember my husband and I, we were looking to make some money, right? And so we were like, we're entrepreneurs, so we were like, okay, let's try to find something, to make some extra money. And so we was looking online and we saw where you could do like Uber and DoorDash, and so we just went through all of these people's channels that were doing like Uber and DoorDash, and it seemed like DoorDash was like really interesting, and we came across a channel called doughdash, and she just like she was basically going through how she do her orders and how she makes $200 a day and everything. And so like, look, I was just like, I was like, babe, look, she makes $200 a day. We gotta get up in the morning. We already got the apps on both of our phones. So like, if we deliver at the same time, maybe we can, we could definitely make this. And so, and I was like, she says that she's in Austin, Texas, and so we're in Dallas. So I was like, okay, so we could do pretty good or whatever. But then I later saw a video, and she was like, she didn't do that good in Dallas. But anyway, so we were we were trying to use her strategies or whatever. And so that next morning, I got up. I think me and my husband, we got up at 4 a.m. And we got up at 4 a.m. And so we had our little DoorDash bags and everything, and we had our orders on our phones, and he would pick up an order, and then I would pick up an order, and like one of us would be the driver. It just depends on who was delivering. And so we're just like delivering our orders and everything. So it was really fun because we were working together, and so it was really fun. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, we actually made an extra like $50,000 or $60,000 on top of what we made that year. It was crazy, and it was really fun though. So it was like we had our write offs. So we had our we had our write offs. Luckily, we had a Honda. So like, it does, it put a lot of miles on your car, but you need a car that's, a really good car, like a Honda or a Toyota. So either one of those. But anyway, and so after that, I didn't start a YouTube like after that immediately, but then she started saying, and another thing that intrigued me, I remember her saying that she fasts to lose weight, and I just came to this thought, like God sent me, like God had me to understand what this really was, and I understand this now, and that's what I'm saying. I'm making this video, but I remember she was saying that she was fasting to lose weight. She lost over 100 pounds. She looks amazing. She's so beautiful, and she's like the best. Like, she has such a loving personality. Like, when I tell you, you can feel the God in her. Like, you can feel God's spirit in her. You just feel it. Like, when I say she's so authentic, she's so you could just tell God is really shining through her, and using her, as a vessel to help encourage other people and help uplift other people. And I just really love, how God is really working through our people these days. And so yeah, so like, so we were just, doing our door dashing and stuff like that. And then I remember she was like, okay, if you're not on YouTube, 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 she just kept making videos like this. And so I was like, okay, well, she's right, you know, like I'm like the hundred, the I'm like the other 75,000 people. I'm like, you know, yeah, she got something. She's right about this, you know, because we know things that we can help people, but we're not helping them, right? And so I was like, you know what, I'm business savvy. Um, I've basically we run businesses. We've made over 20,000 a month in our business, and we have saving plans to where we saved over 50K in less than a year with on regular jobs, and I was just like, okay, I can probably teach people how to do this, but this was the thing. I learned very quickly. I wasn't passionate about this. It was just like dreadful for me. And this was almost like when I don't know if you've ever, if you go to college for something, or and you have that field of study, and you change your field of study because you realize that you don't really want to do that, or you actually graduate with that degree, and then you start working, within that industry, and you realize that I shouldn't have went to school for this. That's how I felt. So I felt like I didn't like it. I was glad that I could like hit the reset button, like, and I literally started all over. Actually, I lost all of my views, I guess, for the videos or whatever, um, and yeah, it's okay though. Like, I just don't have a passion for it. Like, I don't have a passion for finance. I guess I didn't have a passion for it, and so, but this was the thing. I realized I didn't have a passion for it. But this also happened to me, like maybe a few months after. I ended up in the hospital. And I've always been a spiritual person. I've always had my relationship with God. And what I realized is that, and I was just redeveloping because I had gotten out of, like, for some time, I had kind of strayed away. And you know how you had a relationship to where you talk to God and then you'd be like, you just kind of, I want to go, God, I want to go have fun now. Like your kids do. Okay, Mom, I want to go play the playground. You do that with God. You want to go play the playground. You want to go party. You want to go, do all that. I didn't party, but partying for me is like, I don't even know what it is. Actually, I don't party. Actually, I haven't been anywhere. But like for me, partying would be just not being obedient. So not praying like like I normally did. Not being in my word like I usually was, and like having my notebook full of my notes from studying, and so that's what partying is to me. And so that's I went off and was partying, and what it is for me, and so God, had to sit me down in the hospital because, and this is what I came to understand. Most people have to have a car taken away from them. Most people have to have their home taken away. They have to have the materialistic things taken away by God. But I understood this lesson because God knows He has to get me a certain way. Like, He knows I'm not materialistic because God knows your heart. So that's the thing about God. Like, your Father knows your heart, and so He knows my heart. He knows I don't care. Like he knows I don't care about, like, God could take that car away. God could take that house away. I'm just gonna be like, oh, God, go give me another one. That's how I am. And so my husband tells me this all the time. He's like, girl, you just think that everything just gonna come. I'm like, yeah, I do. He says I act like I don't have a worry in the world because I really don't. Yeah, I give everything to God, baby. I write it down and I be like, God, here you go. I need this. I literally do this, and just like for my car that I have outside, I told my sister, I was like, I say I was using a rental car because I sold my other car, and I was using a rental car, and I told my sister, I said, yeah, I'm gonna get a car, and she was like, you can get a car. That same month, I had a car. My husband ended up paying for me a whole car cash. Like, I didn't know how I was gonna get this car. I just said I was gonna get one, and God just gave me one. And it was exactly what I needed. Like, it was a truck. It was exactly the seats. I wanted more seats. And, like, I'm telling you, God will look. Your dad is, I just can't, I can't stop talking about, I can't stop talking about God. So, um, let me just get back on subject here. But, yeah, so when I ended up in the hospital, this is when I started to realize, like, oh man, like, this is serious. And my kids were sad because, I had to stay over the night at the hospital. And, they had to eat the hospital food with me. And I'm over here trying to act like we're dining in. I'm like, I ordered y'all some food. It was disgusting. And it was just horrible. And, it really was all my fault. It really was. And it's because, my husband's been telling me to go to my appointments, to go to the specialist. And he's been telling me so for a long time, for a year. And the only thing I've been doing is going to my primary care doctor and getting checkups. But I needed to go to a specialist. And because I didn't do that, it landed me in the hospital. And they said that I had a stroke. A stroke. Like, and then they were like, oh, but you're young, so you'll be okay. So, here I am today. I have dedicated my life to God's people because I understood the mission. This is just point blank period. God was sitting me down. God was like, hey, this is what I need you to do. You've always wanted to help me because I've always had this passion. I'm not gonna lie. I've always wanted to reach people and motivate people. I've always motivated people regardless of what I've done. But this is a work that I think is I know it's my soul. It's my soul mission. God, it's definitely aligned with what God needs me to do. But God will put the right people. And for me, I guess it was doughdash. It's crazy. I don't know. Like, and I don't even know like what made her change, like from just talking about the entrepreneurship side and then telling us to start YouTubes. Because if she never did that, I would not be here. I would not be here reading the word. I would not be here motivating. I would not be here even teaching you guys finances. If y'all want to know how to build a business, if y'all want to know all of that, things like that, I actually would do that for free because I don't really care for it. Like, I would just rather do God's work. It's just, I would rather see people's lives change, and I would just rather do the work of God. And another thing, what I was gonna say, when she said that she was fasting, I fast for 3 days, and when I told you, I received a call from the founder and was like, hey, I like you, I like what you do, I want you to open up and operate or run my operations for me. When I tell you, when you fast, it strengthens that connection to God. So for me, what I believe is that doughdash opened up a connection with God. I don't with this fasting thing because I definitely did a fast and this happened for me. So this is just my thoughts. I don't know what her thoughts are. I'm gonna tag her in this video too, just so she can maybe she can let you guys know what else she's doing. But when I tell you, she's just wonderful, and I love her so much. And I remember she was at the concert. I forgot the concert here in Dallas, and she was needing like $25, I think, or for her parking or something like that. I forgot. And I remember sending her like $100. I was like, I woke up and I was getting ready for work, and I was like, oh no. And she was like, she was about to leave because she didn't have enough money for her parking. And I was like, oh no. And so like I just sent her some money. And like everybody was just like, oh my gosh, that's so nice. And listen, I'm just, money is just a current, it's just energy. That's all it is. So that's almost like me sending her a hug. So we have to understand that God wants us to have abundance. God wants us to have abundance. And he has put her there to show her, or to show us, to show us exactly how he wants us to achieve that abundance. And that's by giving, giving what it is, and that's our energy, and that's our the love that He has given us. And I know some people may say the universe, or whatever God is for you. That is, that because everybody, we kind of communicate things differently, but I like to say God because it resonates, with a lot of people, and across a lot of different religions. But I will say that you do know when there is something right and there's something good. And like the word does say that, anything that is good is of God. And so there you go. But that is my backstory of how I got here. And yeah, so I'm going to try to tag her back down below so you guys can check her out. And you can see she's really funny too. But yeah, so I do thank you so much for watching. I do love you guys, and I hope to see you in the next video. I will see you in the next video.